What is up, everybody? Tomorrow we are going to go for a longer bike ride, but I've got a couple of things I need to do to the bike, and I want it to be ready to go for when I get out of my work meeting so I could just hit the road. One thing is I put this new Brook saddle on the bike. It's really changed the way, the angle I want and the position, but when I went to change the height of the saddle, my seat post was stuck. I hit it a couple days with WD-40, finally got it out. It really needs to be cleaned up, so we're going to do that. Then if you saw the last video, we were hitting the gravel at the end of that, and so the bike is pretty dirty. And even though I'm not going to give the bike a complete bath, I do want to clean off the water bottles, and I do want to clean up the drivetrain. So going to do that tonight, get that ready, and then we will hit the road for a good ride tomorrow.
So I originally had a completely different plan for today. Even shot an intro for this video last night, but a couple things stopped it from happening. I wanted to get up early, hit the towpath, and ride to Cleveland. We've been getting these real cold nights, but these warm days. So I thought I would hit the towpath earlier while it was still frozen, get up to Cleveland, and then after everything warmed up, take a paved route home. So I ended up having a meeting at 10 a.m. today, which threw those plans away. But the meeting was kind of the reason I wanted to go on a long ride today, or about the reason I wanted to go on a long ride today, and also what prevented me from doing it. I'll try and explain all this. I need to take off a layer and then raise the saddle a little bit too. I didn't know this building was coming down. When I was growing up, this was a commercial bakery, one of the big brands. The names on the wall are the old bakery companies like Akron Baking and a number of things, but I can't remember who it was, but it used to smell so good in this part of town. That's a bummer. Another historic building in Akron. We don't hang on to them. So I've really noticed over the last maybe year, my tolerance or desire to do long solo rides has really kind of gone away. And I know everyone's definition of long is different. So for me, I'm thinking north of 30, 35 miles. It's kind of what, getting over the 3-hour mark maybe. There are definitely some exceptions to this, which I'll get into in a little bit. And don't get me wrong, I do enjoy riding my bike by myself. That's the most meditative I ever get, my chance to think. On this ride already, before I started filming, I kind of in my head already wrote a script for a video for my photography channel. Also, just keeping in shape. I don't run anymore. I don't hike a ton. This is my exercise. And although I'm never training for anything in specific, I just do like to keep up a level of bike fitness for reasons of when we do go on a long tour, I can be comfortable. When I ride with other people who may be faster, I have a chance of keeping up. Last fall at Nutmeg, riding with Terry B and the New York crew, I wouldn't have been able to keep up if I hadn't been keeping in shape and going out for rides. So 20-25 miles on my own, I still dig it with my random schedule. Like today, it's 12:54. no one else is going to be able to ride bikes right now. I'm a freelancer, the sun's up, I've got stuff to do later. This is my chance. So I guess maybe one of the things I start to think about when I'm at home and I'm like, maybe I'll go ride a half century today, is boredom. I start to be like, it's a lot of time, I'm gonna get bored. So part of that might come down to, now I've been riding so many years that from my house, there might not just be enough good routes that are new to me. I'll ride the same route over and over with friends, you know, in all the different seasons. There's always a new experience to be had. But getting too far alone anymore on the same roads has kind of lost its appeal to me. It's hard to get out the door when I just start thinking about that sometimes. I do love the ease of just hopping on my bike, but it makes me wonder, is it worth maybe throwing the bike in the car and driving just a half hour and just getting a little farther and riding something that I ride less, more. Ride less, more. Yeah. And it's one thing I did like about running. You know, an hour of running is a huge workout, where it would take me 3 times that long to get that kind of workout on my bike, probably more. But riding a bike is way more fun, even when I'm pushing it, and you just get to see way more. No, let's not fall over today. So there are obviously those exceptions. When I'm traveling alone, you know, I'm gonna get a good ride, and if there's a good ride to be had, you know, I do that when I'm coming back from work trips or whatever. So if I'm seeing something new, the other one being like having a purpose. Like even this morning, like the idea of getting a ride up to Cleveland and doing something long and interesting would have been cool, you know. So if I could put a purpose to it, then maybe I'll do it. But like last week, my biggest week of the year and in a while, it was because Erin's back on her bike, so I had someone to ride with. Met with Ben, had good weather, our group ride, so we'll also see what happens in the summer. I know there are those summer days where just being out all day just feels good. So when I do watch, you know, friends or channels of people like Following Thomas from Florida or Traveling Through, who do long, you know, tours on their own, I kind of get that because they're doing something new and interesting, like I was saying. I've never done a solo overnighter. I can't even say it's like a goal or anything of mine. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but I don't know. Maybe it's something to try and experience just to see it. It's something I dig, but it's kind of a different topic. You know, there are a couple guys that are acquaintances I know in passing that I see park at the same trailhead and do the same ride. I don't know, they must do it at least 5 times a week. And nothing against that, that works for them. I can't imagine doing that. I'm doing a ride that I've done a number of times last week, mixed it up with a little bit of gravel, but yeah, this is about my limit on this ride for a while. I would say that's another slightly annoying thing about winter, is it does limit where you can ride, or where it's fun to ride. It'll also be nice when the mountain bike trails are consistently open. Ours aren't open when it's damp, almost never open in the winter unless there's snow or they're frozen. But I have so much room for improvement in mountain biking that I could learn a lot and ride those a lot more. And I think it is something I'll do more this year. I did it more than I ever have last year as well. So do let me know in the comments, how far do you ride solo, like regularly, like, or once in a while? Like, what's your max? Like, you know, last summer I did do a solo century. It was a long day out, but you know, I wanted to eat lunch up on Lake Erie, and I haven't ridden the route that I rode that much, so you know, a big chunk of it. So it was cool. But once I did that, I wasn't like, I want to do this again next week. I've mentioned this before too. I love having the YouTube channel because it is motivation to get out, and a lot of times when I'm vlogging like this, I'm talking to myself, it's just my thoughts, you know, and then I find other people relate to it, so it makes it enjoyable. So it's motivation to get out and talk to you guys, talk to myself, clear my head, whatever. So GoPro Hero 11 is like $300 right now. If you feel like making videos would help you, just do it. Trust me, I was doing this when nobody was watching, so. I don't think it's really a big deal. I just feel like, you know, it's just kind of a fact. So making the most of when I am around other people and doing the stuff I want to do, making it interesting and stuff like that. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyways, long solo rides just mean more time away from Edmund, and nobody wants that. He's so cute. Oh yeah, so that meeting and why I didn't end up doing my Cleveland ride today. Next week, I am heading to Boston for work on Tuesday. So a week from today as I'm recording this. You're probably not seeing it till later. But yeah, really good gig. It's gonna be hard work, but it's gonna be cool. So photography in 3 locations. So I was actually had a Zoom call with the Boston contact and then with the parent company in Spain today about the scope of the project. As far as bikes go on that trip, I don't know yet. I am staying through the weekend, but it'll just depend on what my friends who live there are up to and the weather, of course. Winter on the East Coast. So I am hoping to at least hop on a city bike. I'm gonna keep in mind any bike shops that have rentals. I'm gonna look some stuff up, but I just don't know. I was thinking to and from the airport would be a good time, but I'm gonna have too much photographic gear to be able to ride a bike with that stuff on me. So we'll have to see. Same with the live stream. If you're seeing this before that Tuesday, if I could pull it off, I will. I think I might have a quiet space. And on Tuesday at 9, I'm guessing I'll be alone, but never know. That's never a guarantee. So now I think a couple updates on some of the resolution type stuff I've been talking about for the year. So back to those resolution things. One I've kept so far is reading almost every night. I've already read 4 books this year. 3 of them have been cycling books. I don't only read cycling books. In fact, now I'll probably take a little break before I jump back into some of your suggestions. But right now I'm actually reading a book about the imperial legacy of the Ottoman Empire on the Middle East and the Balkans. So, you know, I always said I'm a nerd. I've done my little strength training routine almost every night. It's nothing fancy and it's nothing extensive, but I really want to keep the sciatica at bay. So I've been doing my sit-ups and my little back stretches and all that. So I'm happy about that. I want to, oh, look at that airplane. I do want to add some more stuff to that as I keep going, but starting small and just doing it most days is the first step. And I have been getting up at almost the same time every day. I have no desire to be a super early bird, but I just felt like it'd be good for me to do that. I also have an alarm clock, the alley cat that I adopted named Edmund. He doesn't put up with me getting up past 8 o'clock, trust me. And the last one that's kind of cycling related is alcohol, cutting back, which for me just mostly means beer. Not that I never have a cocktail, but I don't make cocktails at home. And being out isn't what I'm trying to quit doing. Having beers when nothing's going on is what I was cutting back on. I had to climb that hill. Anyways, on that one, I'll give myself a B-. I've cut back. I want to cut back even more. So I haven't quite cut back as much as I want, you know, having some beers when something's going on and then having them left in the fridge and drinking them the next day. That's kind of been where I am coming up short for my goal. So yeah, only a little over a month into 2024, but I do feel good about those things. Did you guys make any goals or resolutions or things you wanted to change for 2024? Even if it's not cycling related, let me know and let us all know how it's going so far. And if it didn't go well, it only lasted a week or 2 weeks or 2 days, consider starting again. You know, years are just numbers. We made those up. You could always make a change that you want to make, no matter what the date is, right? So that's going to be about it for this ride. It'll end up being about 34 miles. If you want to see a long solo ride I did from Cincinnati, when the end screen comes on, it'll be right over here. Give this video that thumbs up. Check out our little store down below. Thanks as always for watching. I will see you in the next one.